All right, we are live, everybody. What's up? What's up, everybody out there, podcast land? This is your boy JLat, the comedian, and you are listening to another podcast. Oh yeah, baby, we got a good show coming up. Let's give it. We have a little audience here. Uh, all right, tonight's discussion: rideshare drivers and rideshare passengers. What people should know about rideshare, what the perspective of other rideshare drivers. Because I want to do this, guys. I think there's like such a disconnect between the drivers and the passengers. What's expected of us, and sometimes what we expect of them. I'll start first. I've been doing Uber for about 5 years. I think Lyft for about 2 years. Uh, I actually liked it when I first started doing it. I made so much money that first night, and I think that's what the problem was. I made like $200 that first Friday night I did it. I was like, "Man, there's some good money here." One guy tipped me like $20 just for driving him for like 5 blocks. I thought it was like a normal thing, like, "Oh man, they tipping like this?" Only he said, "Oh, I'd rather you drive me home than like a cop pull me over for being drunk. You're much better," which is actually a huge improvement for Uber, like for overall, drunk drivers, less drunk drivers on the road. Then I found out later you get that baggage too. I have about over 5,000 rides, I think, on Uber, maybe 6,000. I probably haven't checked in a while. Probably about 2,000 on Lyft. Um, and my experience has been a lot of ups and downs. So I'm gonna go around the table here. Best ride. Let's start on a positive note. Best ride. Best ride. My best ride was, let's see. It was so good. I'm a sucker for nostalgia, and I once picked up a World War II vet. Told me about World War II in South Jersey. It was old guy, World War II. Man, it was such a great ride. We talked, and it's one of those rides where you wish you wouldn't end. Like those rides are kind of bad too because you're not paying attention to the road. I remember talking to like a model.
Yeah.
Yeah, talked to a
Exactly.
model, and we was talking so much 'cause I did acting, and we was talking so good. And this was like around New Jersey, the Newark Airport area. You don't want to get lost there because if you miss an exit, you're gonna be going around like Clark Griswold in that movie. He kept going around in circles. Like that's how we were. She didn't even notice it, but it's like like New Jersey Turnpike. You miss an exit, you're gonna be in South Jersey. Like it's not like some of these places you don't want to miss your exit. Especially like where you're from in New York City. You don't want to mix an exit. You'll be paying like $12 toll. But those are some of my good rides. I got two Uber drivers. Uh, one from the tri-state area like myself, and one from Pittsburgh. They're going to tell you a little bit about themselves. They're going to tell you about some of their pet peeves as drivers and some of the things they like about Uber and their overall experience. So first up the bat, friend from the group. We have a lot of Facebook groups for Uber drivers. A lot of Uber drivers. That's where I learned so much stuff from the Facebook group. More than it's about as much as driving people around. I learned so much from the groups too. Because Uber's not going to tell you nothing. It's a trial and error kind of thing. So this next gentleman I met, Ray Reyes in the group. When I do talk in the group, I like to read the stuff that's going on and stuff like that. Ray Reyes, how are you, man?
I'm doing fine there, T. Thanks for having me.
No problem, no problem. Thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedule.
Oh,
You're not working tonight, correct?
well, yeah, I'm somewhere in a swanky little motel with great Wi-Fi. So just for this,
Great.
this
Oh,
meeting.
are you? So you do Uber, and then when you get a hotel, if you're like far away, is that how you do it, or you just
Yeah, I usually travel a lot as far as when where Uber takes me.
go where it
Most of the time, I'm just kind of like a nomad right now. You might as well call me a Mandalorian Uber or something like that because I'm all over the place.
All right, all right. How long have you been doing Uber?
I've been doing just Uber for over 6 years now, and as I look at my rides, I only did 4,600 right now. but I did had a little bit of a personal stuff that I kind of stopped for a little bit, but I'm back on full swing again.
Okay, and are you New York based or New Jersey based? 'Cause there's
I'm, well, I'm actually Philadelphia based.
okay, all right.
I'm
But you got two
Philadelphia based.
Pennsylvanians.
I'm sorry.
You got two Pennsylvanians. Go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, if I when I go Philadelphia, green light, I have Philadelphia, New Jersey, and Delaware as my surrounding areas where I work. So, and it took me all the way close to Youngstown, Ohio. One of my rides brought me there, and one to Maryland, and one to Boston. So I'm all over the place throughout the whole time. So
Wow.
Wow.
yeah.
Our next driver, a fellow Quaker, Vina.
Call me a Quaker.
That what, isn't that Pennsylvania? Isn't that what y'all
It's
call?
it's. I live in Pennsylvania. I'm from the Carolinas.
Oh,
Um,
Crack-a-lacka.
yes, the pack.
Chakalaka, yeah.
So you'll hear that in my voice when I speak. I don't sound like a Pennsylvanian.
I have family in North Carolina. I know the accent very well. Very
Okay.
Go Orangeburg.
South Carolina. Okay, we got Carolinas in the house. All right.
Oh,
We're all over the map already right now. So,
mm.
Vina,
We
how long have
are.
you been? Yeah, how long have you been doing Uber?
I have been with Uber this month. It's my 4-year anniversary with Uber. I joined the Lyft March of 2017. So there was a 2 month difference with them, and I've had 4,400, a little over with Uber, and 1,800 with Lyft, and those were accomplished within that 3 year and 2 months. I haven't driven in 8.
Hmm.
God bless you.
Haven't driven in 8 months.
I haven't driven in 8. I had an accident last May that took me out of it for a little while. And now that I'm able to go back to it, I don't love it the same. So we'll have to get into that perspective. Something that I used to like. I'm always out there. That's what I'm known for, the Uber driver.
Okay. Okay. Uh, so any of you guys first? COVID. What makes it different now with COVID?
Mm. Yeah, I mean, could you explain it, elaborate a little bit more?
Okay,
Uh,
the
go ahead.
question.
Go ahead, Vina.
Go ahead.
How's it different with COVID now? Like COVID. How's
COVID.
doing
Okay,
Uber?
when COVID hit, and I started my solely Uber for years since I've been in Pittsburgh. Since 2014, I've always worked two jobs. I started Uber in 2017 to remodel my family home because I was also a landlord and I had a bad tenant, and it was a quick way to make money, as you said. So I stuck to it. Even after I remodeled the home, I stuck to Ubering. And in 2020, I decided to go solely to Uber because I said I'm killing myself, working 70, hours a week, 60 to 70 hours a week, with 2 jobs. I have no life, and I said, I know I can make, maybe if I do this the right way, I can make at least $100,000, $75,000 to $100,000 if I really dedicate myself to this. And the first 2 months were good. It was kind of shaky because of COVID, that January. It was kind of shaky, but you could get close to that 3,000 range. February, you're at that 3,000 range. March comes and you shoot back down. Because COVID, I had one of the first COVID cases, a person who lived with one of the people who had the first COVID cases in my car in March, and I spazzed completely out,
Ooh.
right? Because we didn't know much about it then. You're thinking that you're going to get it, and somebody's in your car, you're closed up and things like that.
Yeah.
So COVID completely, after March 6th, I would say it shut down. You probably dropped a good $800 in March. By the time April came, you dropped $1,600, and then you were down to about $800, and it was over by May.
What was it like for you?
Well, I it was kind of a little slow during the time. Around March, that's when the pandemic became full blown and everything, I was still working because unemployment wasn't being put into place yet in New Jersey. So I wasn't going to be left without anything.
We're still debating whether Uber drivers can even get unemployment because we're like independent contractors. We'll get into that. A lot of people don't
Yeah,
even know that.
yeah. So and then I mean, I worked for about 1 month, and I tell you, it looked like Walking Dead in Philadelphia, New Jersey. There was nobody there.
Yes.
It was Walking Dead. I was at the airport and there was nobody. And I was in Philadelphia airport. There was nobody, no taxis, just me. And I was like, oh my God. But then there were flights coming in. And I remember one flight, I picked up one woman from Las Vegas into Philadelphia, and she wanted me to travel all the way to Harrisburg. And throughout the whole time I was listening to the conversation, it turns out that she was a stripper.
Oh yeah, I picked up.
she was a stripper, and she was being the client was supposed to send her and four other strippers to a hotel in Harrisburg, and it was had to be in the down low and stuff. I was like, oh my God. So for that was just one ride out of maybe the whole week. And then finally, my doctor, I'm a high risk. I'm diabetic. We call it. My doctor told me, well, basically, he said, "Hey, if you want to continue working for Uber, like, and you're gonna get hit with COVID, I can't help you." So I told him, I was like, "Look, I don't have unemployment yet. I need a doctor's note from Uber, and can you send me something?" So he did fax me something, and just about that time, I had my unemployment kick in. So for close to 4 months, I finally got unemployment until the unemployment ended in July. And then I went and talked to the doctor and said, "Hey, doc, I got to get back to work. Either that or I'm going to, hide in your mansion and drive your Ferrari and call myself Magnum. So
So for me, I stopped doing Uber for like March and April. I went back in May. Because it scared the crap out of me because they were still doing pool rides,
Mhm.
and I was still ignorant about of it all. I had two girls in the back seat. Usually when I have pool, I let the third person sit up front with me.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I had one guy. He got in front with me and started coughing.
Uh,
Oh no.
Luckily I had my window down. It was still warm because it's May. I had my window down. I usually have my window. I always have my windows down. I rarely, I rarely do my air conditioning because like shit they don't tip me and all that.
I would not be riding with you without air in May. Okay.
Oh
In
no.
New York. But go ahead. We will get
Yeah, yeah.
We,
But I had he was coughing right next to me. I'm like,
oh
why?
man.
It's like when you got a smelly passenger and you gotta you lean towards the window because of the smell. Like, all I know is, uh, and after that, I said I ain't doing no more Uber. So I didn't do Uber for like 2 or 3 months. Then I found out about Uber. Well, I knew about Uber Eats, but any of you guys do Uber Eats? Either you guys?
I did it for a week and it was over. I hated it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it for 1 week also, and I hated it too.
I did it. I did it a few times, and the few times I did it, $3 for like a half an hour's of work. I said, hell no, I'm not doing it. But during the summer, during COVID, it was like $10 for at least $10 a ride. I made so much money, and it was like, wow, this is so much better. Like burgers don't talk shit. They don't want nothing. Like just drop it off and go. And tips. I made a lot of money with just Uber Eats and the rides, and the rides themselves, like they were shooting up. Like they had like a single ride. They had like a bonus with the single ride, like $2 per ride. I'm like, well, damn, Uber.
That's what gets us is those bonuses that we
Yeah,
see. And we will sit there and wait on that thing to ding. Money traps you. It does. But that's what we're out there to make.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, we're out there to make it. But did you all ever try the shields? Because I don't know, because I think you may have been on my Facebook page at that time. where once COVID started and I had that one rider that I put up this plastic shield like across the back at first.
The partition then, right?
Yes,
Right?
and I made it out of a shower curtain.
Ah,
Plastic shower curtain, and I pinned it across the top into the back of my seats. And if a third person wanted to get in, I had one that went across the middle of it. It looked absolutely crazy.
I
But
don't know
I didn't care.
rubber duckies in the you didn't have rubber duckies.
But you know what? And the thing is people were thankful that that step was being taken, especially the elderly. They were more appreciative of the steps. That nobody felt awkward. They thought that it was funny. They took pictures. They put it on their Facebooks. But I felt comfortable at that time doing it that way.
Yeah, but they're in the backseat with all this shit though. Like why?
Right, you keep that back there.
Yeah,
I literally had to clean. I had to clean it several. I still clean several times a day in between passengers. I think I clean more than I ever had. I always kept a clean Uber, but I just became so OCD about the doorknobs and things like that that I had to. And even if they were coughing behind me, I still felt some kind of way.
Yeah.
You know.
What I did to survive was this with passengers. I didn't have that thing, the plastic thing. What I did was every third I made, since there was no aerosols, no disinfectants anywhere. I got alcohol was gone, like rubbing alcohol. They had my idea that I'll make my own air, but bought all the rubbing alcohol, which is the main ingredient to hand sanitizer and disinfectant spray. So what I did was I went to the liquor store and I bought Everclear.
Oh my God, it must be expensive. Oh
yeah, $30. Well, I got a big jug for like $30.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's still more expensive than buying freaking rubbing alcohol, like which is like $1 for a bottle. Like what I'm paying like $5 for drinking alcohol for what I'd pay for $1 in rubbing alcohol. But I got it. I mix it up with purified water and some essential oil and peroxide. That's what the site said. I got some glass bottles from Amazon. I put them in a glass bottle and I spray it every third person. I'd also make sure a window was cracked. Always make sure. And also, well, Uber made this a rule pretty much later, and this is what's going to get me into the next segment. I kept a basket in the front seat. Nobody sat in the front with me anymore. But that was Uber policy after a while, 3-person policy for regular Uber. That became the policy, which is great. I was good. I hate people sit up front with me. I hate it.
I made my own policy before Uber made their policy. I don't care if you have to sit on top of each other in the back. You ain't sitting up here. That it just got to that point.
Yeah.
That it's like I don't want you to even touch me because you're in my space. You're over my drinks.
Yeah, you ever get that guy that just goes in the front with you, like?
But I was always that person. Yeah. That was like however they feel comfortable, or there was the front or the back, let them get in. Let's chat it up. But that was before COVID and we were crazy.
Yeah.
But that'll probably never happen again if I ever go back to driving.
Yeah, I hope they don't change it back. Like I saw the one video.
No.
You seen that video where the dude's drunk and he's just sitting in the front of the guy?
Oh yeah.
First taking his wheel and like.
Oh yeah. Whoa. It's like I love you, man. No.
We ain't
gonna die like this.
He was mad at him because he wasn't going the way he wanted to go, and he started grabbing the steering wheel from the side seat, like the worst kind of side seat driver ever. Side seat drivers are already a pain in the ass. I had a post about that.
I've never had a side seat driver that was bad. Mine were always in the back, but they like to come through the middle up to the front where you are. Yeah. I can tell you some stories about that. That was my only issue.
How do you feel about side seat driver? Like, it's just the person just telling you where to go. Like, you guys are.
Oh, I just ignore them. I just like, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You just follow the route on this.
I'll just follow the route. I did had a one store right by Camden. This guy just decided he wanted to go the way he wanted, but there was one of the ramps in Camden was shut down. I know this for a fact because I drove it many times, but he wanted me to go to that ramp to get into the Ben Franklin, and he says, well, why aren't you turning left? Why aren't you going to that ramp? You just gave me 10 more minutes and I was like, I'm telling you, this ramp is closed. I was like, I'm telling you, you just listen to me. I was like, All right. So I went turned to that left and he saw that ramp and I was like, and I didn't say anything. I was just like, that's it. It's done. It's a wrap. So we did the 10-minute one, but he still gave me a 1 star. So what could you do?
All right, we just have joining us Gina DiMaggio, a comedian, Gina DiMaggio. Gina, can you hear us?
Yes,
Oh, okay. She's not an Uber driver. She does Uber. She's a passenger. Right, Gina, you frequent
I
Uber,
ride a lot of Ubers. Yes.
Uh-oh.
Uber or Lyft. Do you prefer either one?
What, Uber or Lyft? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, in my neighborhood, Ubers tend to come more often. Lyft is like, and then Lyft, they'll say like a driver's coming, they have to complete a stop, it's 13 minutes. Okay, fine. And then it's like it's 2 minutes away, I'm all bundled, I'm ready. And it's like, ooh, actually the Lyft driver just canceled. And so now you got to start fresh. Whereas
I'm
like
gonna
Uber
I'm gonna
seems like
answer
it's
your
more
question.
reliable.
I'm gonna answer your question why. I mean, not a question. I'm gonna tell you why that happens with Lyft. Lyft does this thing where if you leave the app on and you don't turn it off, if you're on a ride, it'll just give you another ride without you even like requesting or just accepting it. It'll say another rider for you in your queue. I'm like, wait, what? And you can't do nothing about it unless you turn the app off while you're on the ride. So what happens is, and you can cancel a ride without any kind of penalty. Usually, if you cancel rides too much, you get penalized for it. They don't tell us what will happen or when it happens, but you could be kicked off the app. But they don't say what exactly. But that's what happens. So when I get another Lyft ride, I don't want another Lyft ride, so I'll just cancel it. Like that's what Lyft does. Uber's different. Uber, while you're on a ride, it'll have the ping while you're driving, and you can accept it or not accept it. Lyft
Mhm.
just gives you
Mm.
shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Had something to say, Vina?
No, I was agreeing with you. I've left my app on, thought I turned it off for Lyft, and I've left it on and gone home and was still getting ride requests.
Oh,
Yeah. Another thing Lyft does that annoys the hell out of me, it'll just switch the person you're getting like in a moment's notice. Like,
Hmm.
especially if they think you're taking too long. They'll just give you another ride. And they've done that a few times.
what?
Or they'll just give
Yes.
somebody the ride that's closer to them and take you off the ride. When I'm like, so Lyft does it. They all do this thing where they give you a streak. So you got to get 3 or 4 rides in a row, and you get a bonus. So I was on like Lyft did this to me once. I was on my way to a bonus, my last ride, 4th ride in a row. They canceled a ride. I didn't even know it, and then they sent me another one. By the time I started fiddling with my phone, I'm driving too. I was going, and now I was out of my bonus. Like, what the hell, Liv?
You know what I had to do because that was an issue. I got two phones. I have Uber on one phone and Lyft on the other,
Yeah.
and that's how I accepted my rides. When they were I'm sorry, my dog's barking. When they were really slow. It's like I always had the option
Mhm.
of having one or the other.
Hmm. Huh.
Hmm.
Well, I'm not balling like
Mhm.
that to have 2 phones on my phone. Yeah,
I just stayed in Uber because of that. I've heard Lyft is very unstable. So I know my fiance has been begging me to take these two together, but it's just too
yeah.
much drama
Lyft
for the
is like
mama.
a secondary. Like that's
Yeah.
how I feel. Like if Uber's really slow, I'll turn on the Lyft app to cover my ground more. But
Mhm.
I don't. Lyft is never the primary unless like Uber for some reason is not accepting my license or whatever. Like because I've had that issue for whatever the case.
Yeah.
But going
It,
so go ahead, Ray.
well, 'tis the season for background checks. I
Yeah,
mean, everyone's starting to get background checks again. So
yeah.
uh, I'm trying to save up money. So when that time comes, I have to wait 2 months or 3 months to get a background check done. Um, so, but it shouldn't be that way anyway with background checks anyway. So,
Wait, I can't hear you, Vina. You talking?
oh,
Yeah, our audio's off. So
uh,
I was just gonna go into this.
Okay. No,
Oh,
I said he said he gets background checks. Is that what he said?
yeah,
yeah,
background
we
check.
get background check. Yeah, you don't?
No.
What? You don't get background checks? No.
If they run it,
Wow.
they run it and I never know anything about it.
Oh,
Uh,
you don't have to. They don't. like before they took me off the app for like a week after the background check, and then I was approved again. So they might have fixed it so that they do it while so your thing doesn't expire or nothing like that. But
Now I gotta have to check now to see if I have my background check done. No, I'm
yeah.
just kidding. No.
So yeah, I was going to go into this about especially with COVID. This happened during COVID, and
Yeah.
like I said, uh, uh, we only let 3 people in the car now. Nobody sits up front anymore.
Mhm.
So this is my worst ride I ever had. I actually got assaulted on this ride actually. Uh,
Mhm.
I did the destination thing on my way home to Newark. I was in Elizabeth. I get a ping at this hotel by the airport. It's like it was during COVID, so I'm guessing there was some kind of party and the police were there. You know, a bunch of police were there, and I pull in, and one kid comes in my car, and he says, "Are you Taj?" Yeah, yeah, I'm Taj. So this is how they got me. He gets in, and then 3 others come out. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Not three, not 4 people. That means one of y'all got to sit up here with me, and I'm not. And they beg and pleaded me. And since it was on my way, I took the fourth one and had him sit up front. That was my mistake because this kid, they were kids and they were drinking. They was probably smoking. He gets in the front of me and he starts coughing, taking his mask. I said, "You're gonna sit up front, all of you. You got to wear your mask. I'm not playing." All right, we'll wear the mask. And it was a girl. The girl's like, "Please let him in." It was her account. So she's like, "Please let him drive." I was like, "All right, I'll let him drive, but they got to wear their mask." He gets up front. He starts taking his mask off, drinking his water. I was like, "Dude, you got to keep your mask on. I'm not playing. Like, keep your mask on." And I'm going back and forth. And I told him, like, "Yo, if you don't, I'll kick somebody out in a minute. Like, I have no problem dropping them off somewhere. And if they don't want to leave, I'll drive to the next police station where a cop, this has happened before plenty of times. Like, a lot of you don't know this, but when the Uber driver tells you to get out the damn car, you got to get out the car. You're trespassing at that point. You're
Yeah.
not welcome in the car. It's their car. I have a lot of women, I'm not getting out. I paid for this. Like, no, your trip is done when you get out the car. So I told them to get out the car. And I had enough. I said, no, y'all getting out the car. These kids got out the car, but as soon as no, I'm sorry. I was driving them back to where they were. I said, I'm gonna drive y'all back to where they were. As soon as they saw I was making a U-turn back on the highway, they got out the moving car.
Oh, gee.
They got out the moving car. Now I was going up a ramp, so I wasn't going that fast, but they got out the car. They started opening the door. So I stopped so I wouldn't mess up my door. They got out the car, started hitting me in the back, went through the water bottle at me. I tried to run them over my car. I swear to God. I tried to run them over my car. And then I drove and I reported the police, but they didn't do nothing. Uh, but I made sure when I went to the police station, I kept her app running so that I get paid for the whole time I drove all the way to the Elizabeth police station. So a $5 trip cost ended up costing me $20. So
Oh my
Oh,
God.
yeah.
God.
What was your worst ride, Ray?
Oh, Valentine's Day 2016 or 2015.
Hey, oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I remember it very well because it seems like I might have killed somebody or somebody, but
Oh,
I had to pick up somebody from Bordentown to Burlington City. When I went to pick them up, it was 2 guys, two young people, young guys, and they wanted to go to Burlington City. And then throughout the whole trip, I'm usually a talkative guy, just see how they are, gauge who, what they are and everything, but they wouldn't talk to me. They all they did was just look at their cell phones and they would like snicker in between, during the ride. Now at this time, I had a Grand Caravan and I had automatic doors. So that's just put that in the back of your mind now. So I'm driving and it's about a 20-minute ride. I'm headed to Burlington City. They're not talking to me, but they're snickering behind my back. And they're texting to each other. So, and I know they're texting to each other because one would be texting, I hear to send, and then the guy giggles, and then he sends it back, and it's like, okay, now I'm getting a little worried about this. So finally, I made it to Burlington City, just maybe 2 blocks away from the destination. The ride got canceled immediately. It just a rider canceled. That's all this. So immediately I went to the side of the road And around that time, I mean, it was really cold outside. I don't care. I don't care. You cancel the ride.
Yeah, that's
Uber's
good.
not going to protect you.
Yeah.
You know, Uber can't look at you or nothing. So I'm all by myself now. So as soon as I go on the side of the road, I open up the automatic doors and I told them, okay, guys, you need to leave. And it's like, well, the destination is just a few more blocks. And I know Burlington City, and where they were pointing at was abandoned buildings. So it was like an abandoned building, empty spaces, dark place. So I said, there is no way I'm taking you anywhere but to the police station now. So you either leave or I'm going to take the next destination is the police station. And just when I was about to say that, the guy right behind me did a chokehold right around my neck.
What?
Yep, chokehold around the neck. The guy on the right-hand side of where I am lunged to turn off the keys, turn off the car. So I was like, oh my God. But then I'm a 25-year veteran. So I'm kind of like, you know, time for that. And just as soon
Veteran, you mean he was in the armed service? Right?
yeah, I was in the army, and there's a lot of things I've done in the army, and one of them was driving, VIPs. So this was something that was not new to me, and it's instinctively that I've done it. So as soon as the guy wrapped around, his arm around my neck, I broke his thumb immediately. I mean, it was like limp.
Ooh,
He
nice.
broke it. He won't be using so much. The other guy, who was lunging over there, as soon as I broke the guy's thumb, he was screaming like a banshee. The guy was in shock to see that thumb limping like that. That kind of temporarily stunned him. I rabbit punched him in the head right by the dash and my fist, and I instinctively I put the car into drive, and the guys like went into the third seat of the van. The gravity brought him there and pinned them for a few seconds for them to like be shocked and everything. Now again, you hear this guy screaming. The other guy's like, "Holy shit! What the fuck is going on?" And it's just as soon as they find their footing, they were going to come over there. I jammed on the brakes and they fall forward into the dash, and I'm rabbit punching them again. And then finally I says, "You motherfuckers need to get the fuck out right now, or I swear to God, I'm going to run you guys over." That's what I told him. So the guy with the broken thumb, he rolls out. He rolls out of the broken door. The other guy, he was scared as a hell. He's like, "Holy shit!" So once the guy rolled out, I drove again fast as I could go with the van, and the guy's pinned right back to the third seat. He's like, "It's like, stop the car, stop the car!" It's like you guys, it's like, you mess with me, I'll fuck you up, man. I swear to God, you get the fuck out. So as soon as he's trying to get into the other door, and he's trying to time. I don't know what he was thinking, but he's trying to time it to where it would be less hurtful for him. So, and I'm looking at this, it's like, get the fuck out. I swear to God, it's like, stop the car. I was like, no, I ain't stopping. We're doing 20. We're going 30. We're going 40. And just about when I said 40, he was about ready to jump out. And just as soon as I did it, I jerked it, and he rolled out and hit himself on the telephone bone, broke his leg. So he rolled out. I saw that, and I turned at 180, and I was about ready to run over. And I said, I gotta stop. I gotta go get the cops. So I hit the Uber crisis button, and we call that. It didn't take too long for the police to come by. They didn't go too far away. I mean, they did a little search around Burlington City, finding these guys. But later on, I found out that they were trying to get another Uber to get back to Bordentown. And then the Uber told me that when the driver saw them with a broken thumb and the guy limping, he just drove off. And that's when the cops came and got them.
thought
And
So Ray, I
yeah,
guess the question I have is Uber still hiring? Because this sounds amazing. This sounds like a great job.
It is one of the most amazing,
I,
one of the most amazing jobs.
I
so.
tell you, yes.
Were they arrested? How did
Yeah,
they?
they got arrested. Uber gave me a lawyer,
Wow.
yeah. There's a lot of things Uber has done. I basically sold myself
They ain't doing that shit for me when I reported them dudes what they did.
You're like, not you, Taj.
I got the Malaysian woman. She didn't help me at all on the Uber app. Like,
so,
I'm sorry that happened to you.
but yeah, the prosecution got them. They pleaded out. They did 364 in Camden County, and then they were going to sue me and Uber. These two jerkholes were
You
going
have
to
a
sue
camera?
me. Yeah, they were going to sue me.
You got a camera?
Did I had a camera?
Yeah.
Oh, I had to give it to evidence. That
Oh, you
was.
had tape. It was all tape.
Oh yeah, it was on. Yeah, it was on my dash cam, but I had to give.
Can we see that?
I,
Oh my gosh, I'd love to see that.
I would have. Oh man, I had to give it to the prosecution. They never returned it. But
Oh, as long as I've driven, I've never had a dash cam.
oh, you have to.
Not only have I never had a dash cam, I've never carried a weapon.
Is it legal? Is it legal in Pennsylvania to have a camera there? It might not be.
I think it's a one party.
One party, then you can have one. Yeah.
Yeah, you could have it as long as the driver knows that you're being recorded.
Oh, okay, Scott.
Then, yeah, and you get these little tags. I put it in my car.
In New Jersey, you have to do that.
Yeah.
But Vina, if anything, get a decoy. Get something that looks like, make a
Oh,
picture.
you can't help
I mean,
it.
if I ever go back, yes, I can see now where I would do that. I've never had an experience as I feel like my stuff is boring now.
Give your worst. Give your worst. Give us your worst. I don't.
Give us your worst.
Okay.
I wish I could have knew this.
My worst. Oh my God. The worst was, and I'll say this to any Uber rider. When you call us on the app, we expect you to be the person in the car just in case something goes wrong. But they call for other people, whether it's their children, their friends. So my daughter is out partying one night with her friends, and during this time, I Ubered while she was partying because I always brought the girls home. I was very big on women driving women home when they've been drinking. And it was probably midnight, and I said, "Oh, I'll take one more ride. It's a woman, no problem, right? 10 minutes." And I was, you know how they have levels in Uber where you can see how long that ride is going to take.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just a 10, I think maybe 10, 12-minute ride. So I was like, cool, I'll take this, no problem. So I get there and the girl comes outside and she says, "Oh, I called for my friend. He's intoxicated, but he'll be fine." She says, just to take him home. And she said, "So if he gives you any trouble, call me." So I'm like, how am I gonna call you and Uber think you in my car? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm like, okay, and he's like a Russian guy. Like he's like doesn't speak English very well. And he's in the back first 5 minutes. I was like, okay, he's sleepy, he's fine. But then he wakes up, right? And then he's one of those drunks who's like, "Oh, you're so pretty, I want to kiss you" type. And I'm trying to drive and it's pitch black, and you got to have one hand back here, like sit back type stuff. Yeah. And so I had to actually threaten him that I was going to call the police if he did not sit back. And he was like, no, police, and he sat back. But just as soon as we got on his street where there were no street lights, though there were a lot of houses, no street lights, was very dark. I knew that by the time I stopped that car to put it in drive, I had, to put it in park, I had to be out of my car. And just as soon as I stopped, he came from the back to the front through the middle, and I was already outside the car. Yelling for dear life for him to get the heck out of my car. That was the last time I drove at night, by the way. That was my last night ride. I never drove another night ever. Stop.
I was curious about that with women.
And that was when the women were rare. At the time, they rarely saw women. But when, like for me, I had no defense at that time except to remove myself from my car. I don't care if I had to wreck that car. I just knew to get out of that car because this man was about 6. Like his head was bending on my roof. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
that's why I wanted a women on this show because I'm pretty sure the sexual harassment. 'Cause there's not that many women drivers. Like
Yeah.
I've been a rider many times. We saw like one woman driver. I could imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Gina, have you ever been sexually harassed by an Uber driver?
That's a good question. No, I don't think I have actually. No, I've had very good experiences with Uber drivers. They've mostly
What's
been
your worst
good.
experience as a passenger?
No, I mean I think mostly like sometimes you get interesting drivers and they want to talk about like their weird endeavors. So like I don't think I've had a bad experience with a driver. I feel bad for them because I've been in the car and I'm like the ambassador for like my drunk friends.
Yeah.
And I see some of the things they do, and I'm like, oh my God, this is somebody's actual car. We're not in a taxi. Like I had a friend come in with a slice of pizza, put her feet up
Oh
on the
no.
seat, and I'm
Oh
like, oh
no.
my God, I'm so embarrassed. I'm
Oh.
so embarrassed.
Is that
Although,
your account on your account or theirs?
no,
Oh,
oh no,
Oh,
no.
okay.
If I go with them, we're not going on my account.
I've
Oh,
had drunk people pass out of my back sleep. As
oh,
long
me
as they
too.
were asleep, I was cool.
Yeah,
yeah.
they're cool.
Oh my
Yeah.
As
God,
long as they were
Go to
asleep, I
sleep.
had no issue.
I did have a bad story. You know what happened? I fell asleep on the way back from a late night. I'm never like obnoxious or anything in an Uber, but I do sometimes doze off. And I left my cell phone in the car. So I get in my house, I go, oh my God, I think I left it in the car. Call my cell phone, and the guy said, I'll bring it back to you for $60.
Oh,
What are
Yeah,
you
it's
gonna
only supposed
do?
to be 15.
Yeah, like
Exactly.
$60.
It's only 15. And Uber, once you report it, he has to bring it back.
Really? See, I wish I
Yes.
knew that, but who knew?
Yeah,
But
before
yeah.
this is new. Like maybe
Just
2 years.
kidding.
This is 2 years, right? 2 years they did a $15 thing. Before that, Uber was like, "Oh, you just get with it, and you just do your own thing with the
Yeah, it's like
passenger."
the Wild West. It was
Yeah.
like the Wild West.
So you
But
bring
then
it,
it
yeah, you bring it all the way back to them, and then they'll give you nothing. I'm like, what the like? This costs gas and time. You left your phone in my car, and you give me nothing. You know, like that's happened to me a few times. Another
yeah,
time,
give something, but
yeah, like
$60, like
yeah.
No.
is a lot.
Yeah, it is a bit much. Now I can see if he's driving, if he's always in South Jersey, like, look, man, I'm in South Jersey, like, yeah, like, yeah, that happens too, like,
But even at that point, and that's happened. I have offered to mail people their phones instead of driving it back, whatever it takes. But they still get it back. But I never charged $60. I
Yeah,
think that's
$60. I was like, and what are you gonna do? Like, I needed my phone. I'm like, okay. But I was like, that's a
Yeah.
lot of money.
occasionally I just dropped it off at the police station and took the officer's name that took it. They call it like, yeah, it's in the Bloomfield police station.
No,
oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, or
I,
mail or post office. Yeah, they'll.
I usually go to directly to the rider itself. I mean, even if I don't get anything out of it, I mean, usually I pick up if the phone is right there. I'm like maybe about 10 minutes away, but I know that phone is like everyone's life.
Yeah,
Isn't that
So
crazy how valuable it is to people, right?
it is, but I,
I
I just won't fleece people like that. If I get something out of it, that's great. But if I don't, then you know what? It's karma in a sense, you
Now
know.
I've lost mine in New York when I
Ah,
was traveling to work. I
yeah.
have taken an Uber and left my work cell. Had my phone, but I left my work cell that has a whole bunch of stuff that
Mhm.
nobody needs to get in because I was a corporate employee,
Yeah.
and trying to navigate your train system to go meet someone to get my phone was the worst experience I've ever had in my life.
That's all you have to say. Train system.
yeah.
Oh, God bless you.
That sounds
I
awful.
like how Gina brought up drunk passengers. So I'll give my story. I have two quick ones. Picked up this white girl. Sorry, Gina. But she was white.
It wasn't
It was
me.
a
It's
white girl.
okay.
You ain't representing males. What's up with
Sorry, white girl. It was a white
hey,
girl. Two white girls. One white girl was okay.
what's up with the males? What's going
yeah,
on?
sorry, they were white girls. I'm sorry that one was the
It's a
ambassador.
descriptor.
One was the ambassador like you were, and the other one was the fucked up white girl. So they get in my car, and this is when I rent cars. I had like I had a Suburban or some shit. Uh, so the other girl tore up from the blow up. Like she gets in the car, like this chick had no pants on. I'm dead serious. She had
I
no.
want to see that dash cam.
Oh, I didn't have it on. Have
Oh,
it. I did not have a dash cam at that.
Good, good. Glad he didn't have it on. Okay, go ahead.
She
And
only
now
had a
it's
shirt
Tasha's
on.
girlfriend. No,
Yeah.
what?
No, no. This no would eliminated her after this. After this, so she didn't have no pants on. I was like, what? So she's shirt and panties, straight up. And I'm driving, and the girl is like trying to flirt with me and all. Like, I just ignore. Like most of the time, I just ignore. I just drive. Like yeah, whatever. I look on my side mirror. She's climbing out of the car.
oh
See
no.
her in my side mirror in the back seat, climbing out of my car. I
Oh,
pulled over. Was like, "Yo, what are you doing?" And she
oh.
pulls her back, and I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Luckily, it wasn't from West Orange to Orange. It was a short ride, so she gets out the car. This girl falls flat on her face on the street, flat, like boom, like boom, like passed out. Then I look in the back seat, clean. I have to emphasize this, everybody. Clean tampons, but still tampons everywhere. And I still took precautions getting them out. That was my first. Now the second drunk story, uh, Uber pool, Montclair, bar closing, Uber pool. I have this one pretty girl in my back seat, very nice, pretty girl. And then I pick up at this club, and we're waiting. Cops come knocking on my window. Oh shit! Cop is like, "You Taj?" Like, yeah. Oh, here's your drive. Here's your pickup. Dude, this drunk ass dude in my car. And he's like yelling, like, let's, and then I had another pool ride. So it's 3 pool rides on this shit. He's like, let's go. He's like yelling, like, let's go. I'm sitting right next to me. I was like, oh my. I said, dude, if you don't stop yelling, I'm kicking you out this car. And he stopped yelling. And then luckily the girl took too long, so I just canceled on her and bounced. Like, she couldn't find the car. Like, you know what? I'm going. That's her $5, whatever. Luckily, the other girl gets dropped off around the corner. Like he was yelling and incoherent. I felt so bad for this girl having to sit next to this guy. So we're driving. He's like, "Come on, man, let's go somewhere else, man. Let's go somewhere else." Like, no, I'm taking you home. No, man. This dude must have been loaded because he's throwing the 20 at me. Here, man, here's a 20. Take you somewhere else. I'm like, I was gonna take him to like Bloomfield somewhere, just drop his ass off and go. Like a bar out here. So we're driving towards Bloomfield. He's like, "Where are we going?" You're going somewhere else like you told me to. No, man, Hoboken. Take me back to Hoboken. Now, mind you, it was it was double the price because it was 2 o'clock in the morning, so it was like double the price. So he was already being charged out the asshole. So then I just make a whole U-turn from Bloomfield back to Route 3, New Jersey, going back to Hoboken. So then he stops. He's like, no, no, dude, pull over, pull over. Oh, she gonna throw. Like, no, no, no. He gets out and just pulls his pants down, just starts pissing in the middle of the street.
Oh,
And I
man.
would have left. And I would have left. I don't understand how the ride was over at that point.
I know why.
The
Then here's the
last thing
problem.
you'll hear is my wheel squealing.
Yeah, problem. It was pool. I got another pool ride. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I called the dude, and I should have called the dude, like, "Hey, man, listen. I know you got a pool. I'm gonna let you know. This really drunk dude in the back seat. He's really drunk. He's gonna be very, very uncomfortable to be around." And the dude just can't like, "Oh, thanks for letting me know." And he just canceled himself. Like, fuck it. He just got his old cancellation fee done. Like, so,
No.
and the dude gets back in my car. Like, he's back in my car. Like, shit. So, piss all over. Like, he has piss all
Yeah.
over.
And anyone listening, you guys can still get your cancellation fees back. Dispute cancellation fees. It's $5. Uber's going to give it back to you
Yeah, they
regardless.
always give it back. Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
So I have to
Wait,
drive
so
him
is
back.
Uber Pool annoying for you guys? I feel like
Well,
that would be annoying.
they stopped it after COVID. Yeah.
It was very annoying.
Yeah.
I don't
It was
like
good for like those bonuses. Like we get bonuses, a certain amount of rides per like week or per, they add up. So those are good. Plus they couldn't direct you or nothing like that. Like you had to get in your car.
Now
That was good.
Pittsburgh didn't have pool. Pittsburgh didn't have Uber Pool, even though it was pretty much the same thing. 3 people get in the car, they divide the ride. They're going to a couple of different places.
That sounds like
And
cool.
and that's mainly the college students. College students are the best.
Oh,
College students are the best
I
riders.
know what you mean.
oh,
I know what you mean. They they separate the tab.
Right, and then one gets dropped off. You drive the next one to their house. It's the same thing. It was just a different system, but still
different drop off. No, pool is when you get strangers. Like it's like basically your car is like a bus.
Right. But a lot of times it could be strangers. I picked up riders from a bus stop where a bus didn't come in the wintertime in Pittsburgh. And if it's the wind is blowing and that's hitting you, you know what I'm saying, through clothes. Oh, you don't care who you riding with. If you're going in the same direction, I've had strangers get in the car and divide. Okay. And it works.
Interesting. I didn't know they could do that.
Yeah, they for some reason they put in some I guess, and I've never done it, so I don't know how they do it, but they obviously have some code where you can look up to split a ride.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, right. Yeah, there was something you could do a bit back.
Yeah, you could split the ride. Yeah. It was like 4 riders or something like that. But
this is Hector. I'm driving Hector towards Hoboken. Hector's loaded. Like, Hector's telling me he's like a real estate agent. He makes money. You know, I dropped him off in a brownstone in Hoboken. This guy got money. He throws me like another 20. Like, here, man, thank you, man. You don't know, man. He told me his whole life story, how his daughter don't talk to him and all this shit. You know? And we get to his apartment, and then it turns out I have to call his girlfriend to let them open the door for him. Like, I'm like, here, call my girl on that bitch. Like, he's beef with his girlfriend. Like, look, are you gonna open the door for Hector? Please open the door for Hector. He's really fucked up, and you need to open it. All right, I'll open the door. We get there, guess what? It's not opening the door. Oh my God. I'm calling the girl. She's not answering.
But that's not your problem. Why didn't you let him out the car?
I'm trying to think. No, he's out the car. No. Here's the problem. He's out the car. We're out the car. And I'm trying to get him in the door so he leave me the fuck alone. So once I get him in that door, I'm good. I'm gone. And this door is not opening. This guy gets out and pisses again in the middle of Hoboken. People are walking by. Hoboken's a town where everybody's like walking around everywhere.
Yes.
I didn't even know we were on the same pissy driver. I'm the pissy rider. I didn't even know. I thought we were
same driver. Same rider. It's Hector. It's still Hector. Hector's got piss all over in front of him.
And he got in your car?
He kept it.
No, he got outside pissed.
Oh, but he's still pissed all over
him. It over him. Yeah. He just got it over him. So he pissed again outside of his house in Hoboken. I'm trying to call his girl. I'm just hoping somebody opens the damn door to get him in the vestibule so I can get him going. And he's like, oh man, he's like, yo man, you know how many people just left me like this, man. You're a good man here, man. He has another 20. And finally somebody opens the door. Finally. I was like, yes. And he's like, yo man, here, take this 20, man. Here, man, take this 20. I was like, shit.
I never had that experience with rich people. Rich people do not tip. Maybe it's just Pittsburgh. I would have waitresses who make $4, whatever an hour tip more than a rich person in a $1 million mansion.
Those assholes don't ever tip. So he has a 20, and I'm like, go inside. And like, I guess the only way to get him outside if I take this 20. So I take the 20. This dude gives me a fucking hug.
It's all over.
Yes.
You got a pissy hug.
Pissy hug.
Oh my God. Now, I made $90 on a trip and $60 in tips for this guy, but God, my night was over.
Good God.
You got taken. I've never had, other than that one guy, the only person who landed a kiss was a drunk woman getting out the car. She was so just hugged me and she was like, I love you. And then she kissed me and all I'm like is, did you just? Like, too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know me from Adam. Like, I don't know.
I had a girl kiss me while her husband or her boyfriend was going into the door. Like, I was helping around. She's like, oh, thank you. Oh, are you kidding me right now?
Oh, my God.
How your husband got to be
here? Oh, my God.
So Gina, do you have any like questions like why this or why that?
Yeah, good question. I don't know. I'm sure I do. I should have thought of them. I don't
I'm
know,
gonna
but
ask you. I'm gonna
I
ask you
think
a
this seems
question.
like a very hard job, especially to have
Yeah,
people in your real cars like that.
yeah.
You're so has anybody ever thrown up in any of your cars?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
I
Tom's like,
had
oh yeah.
that is a had a I just had one throw upper in the close to 5,000,
Ah,
and
lucky.
yeah, one.
Lucky
I
one.
was kind of like, oh my God, don't break my streak. I'm like up to 4,000. Please don't throw up. But he managed to throw up. But to my defense, the he I just about to stop and he was about to open the door and he just
Oh, they always do it right before you stop.
yeah,
Right. Yeah.
they
Oh,
vomited right there. So I have to claim that as a as a throw upper and it broke my streak. It was like about 4,200. I was like, no, you really pissed me off, man. It's like
I had
it,
I
it,
only,
uh-huh.
Vina.
I was saying I only had one at a Kisney Chesney concert. They drink really, really early, and it was like maybe almost 100 degrees by 11. And two friends got in the car, and I saw him coming, and I'm like, is he okay? Because it's going to cost you a good $200 if you throw up in my car. He was like, no, he's fine. He's fine. So we're riding, and it's 10 minutes probably to the destination. And he rolls down the window and he hangs himself out the windows to throw up. I'm cool with that, right? So cool with that. And he never comes back in the car. We actually ride 10 minutes across bridges, up mountains with him hanging out the car vomiting.
Oh my God.
I mean, I would rather go to a car wash after this than have to clean up poop in my car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had one like couple Spanish ladies after a soccer game. I picked them up in Booton. Do a little. I got a spray, a great spray. It foams. You can clean it right up. It was a great spray. That wasn't the worst. The worst throw up. Guy gets in my car with this girl. Hobo. Now he does kind of the right thing. He rolls the window down and throws up. But here's the problem. And I didn't even notice this problem until he left, and I got the next passenger. When I roll up the window, passenger, and this passenger must have been the coolest passenger ever because he's like, "Hey, somebody throw up on your window, dude? Because there's throw up on your window." It's like, what? Oh, it got inside the door. The door. What do you call it? What do you call it? The inside of the door where the windows separate. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Oh,
it
oh,
got in there.
oh,
Oh
As
my
is a
God.
passenger,
oh,
you turn around like, is that vomit right? How
oh,
cool was he just not, oh, let me out? Like, he was like, oh, no, that's cool, man. Like,
yeah, let me out. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. He got a nice loop. Now, one time, I got a dude who tracked dog shit in my car. It charged him $80.
Mm.
Oh my,
$80. Dog shit.
what?
Yeah, he tracked
So
dog shit.
gross.
Yeah.
People are gross. Like, don't you realize you're in somebody's car? Like, no respect, I feel like.
I know
No
he
respect.
smelled it. Like, I'm sitting there like, damn, dude, you need to wipe your something. Like, I thought it was him. I got back there like, man, this dude stink. Like, why is still stinking here? He's been left like 5. Then I look down like, oh,
Mm.
it was all over my floor. It cost me
Yeah.
$80. I was like, damn. I need
You
to
need a new car, I think, at this point.
Yeah,
That was
seriously.
like 4 different cars ago. Like, I
That
It's a
car's
lot.
done. That car's done. That's what I'm thinking. Like, I hope I never need a ride with Taj because there's all kinds of
oh,
all kinds of everything.
I would not put
There
my
you
car
go.
with all that shit. No, not the car I drive. I need. Oh, these are other people's cars I rent.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
okay.
So,
Yeah, so now in Ubers, you have to wear a mask. And I slept at a friend's house and totally like I had a mask on the way there. And then in the morning, I'm like waiting outside and you get the little notification, don't forget you need a mask. And I'm like, oh my God, where's my mask? So I dig around my like overnight bag. What could I use? And I had an extra pair of undies in there.
Oh,
So I was like, it seemed
oh,
so perfect because there's two leg holes. and you can wrap the leg holes around your ear, but there's a third hole, right? That's the hole that like your body goes in. So I had the leg holes around my ears, but now there's this extra hole over here. And I'm like, I'm just gonna hold it like this, and then maybe the guy won't notice. And the guy's just driving, minding his own business. And then when he goes to let me out, he's like, by the way, nice mask. And I'm like,
Whatever works. It's whatever.
What were they?
I bet he gave you a 5 stars. That one.
Were they clean? You
But
didn't wear them yet, did you?
no, they were fresh.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
No, you don't want any kind of stains on your mask. No, that's never good.
Oh my Lord, Todd, you guys.
I just want to
Oh,
make sure.
Gina,
man.
man.
That $5 was like about to hit you there. So he's gonna leave. He's gonna leave. I
Hey,
gotta wait.
Vina, if you ever come South Jersey, come see me with that mask. I'd love to see that.
So, what do you
Not
got?
to sound perverted or anything.
They
No,
weren't fun
no.
undies, don't worry.
Okay.
What do you guys? What are your guys? For minors, let's talk minors. So when you have this happens a lot. What do you do when you have a woman and a baby?
Mm.
No car seat?
With no car
Ooh.
seat?
Yeah.
Oh,
They
no.
don't get in.
Nope. Nope.
That's smart. That's smart. That's a liability.
I think for me, I picture what happens if I get in an accident and this baby goes flying. That's what holds me to it. And I don't care how they feel about it. You can call the next Uber, the next Lyft. If they let you do it, it's fine. But me, no.
The day that they Uber put that baby seat into law, that particular day, I went to Cherry Hill and picked up. I was going to pick up a guy, and as soon as that guy came down the apartment with a little kid, he didn't have a car seat, and just in the corner of my eye, I see the Cherry Hill Police Department right there, right by the apartments. So the guy comes up, he comes up to me, and he was about to open the door. I always lock my door. Now, hopefully all Uber drivers do this, but before you even arrive at the pickup point, lock the door. Do not let anyone come in. Roll down the window half crack and just say, "Hey, what's your name?" So when I finally the guy finally comes down with the little kid, and the little girl, has her private outfit or something like that, school girl thing. And I asked the guy, it's like, "Hey, look, you got to need a car seat. The law just started." And I was like, and it always starts out like this. It's like, "Do you know who I am?" It's like, "No, I don't know who you are, except you need to tell me who you are first," because it has the name in there. But we also have to challenge and password basically. So basically, if you're an Uber driver, do not tell them who they are. They have to tell you who they are. So that way, John. So the guy, I told him, it's like, well, his name is John, arbitrarily. So I said, "Yeah. So your name is John, but you need a car seat." And it's like, I said, "I don't need a car seat. I just need to go just a few blocks to drop off the." Yeah. Yep. It's always the case. So I told him, I was like, "I'm sorry. I don't care if it's one block, half a block, or the whole country. You need to have a car seat." And the guy decided to make me the villain, and he told the little girl, her daughter, and it's like, "See, look, this Uber driver doesn't like you. He's not going to let you in." And it's like, and he says, it's like, and I told the little girl, it's like, "Your father doesn't really care about you either, because he would have put."
No. You guys are truly talking to a kid. Like,
and of course the kid was crying, because I was like, and then just as soon as I wait for the cancellation, because 3 minutes we've been arguing about this, and I keep saying, the time that we spent arguing, you could have gone upstairs and got your baby seat. I could have waited for you. No, he wouldn't allow it. He said, it's like, and that's the way he told me. He said, I'm the Cherry Hill council member and everything. And
That's how it works.
I demand you take me and my daughter to school. I was like, I don't
And
care if you're
then
the president of the United States. I don't care if you're Trump. I don't care. You need a car seat. There's a cop right there.
And he's
just-
probably
then-
one of the councilmen that are pushing this law.
oh yeah.
and then Ray broke his thumb.
Yeah.
I'm breaking Ray.
I was like,
There's always that option.
like, give me that thumb of yours. So
Wow.
So after the 3 minutes, I just like, hey, I'm not gonna argue. I'm going. I got my cancellation fee. Got
You know what I
$5.
do?
Well, actually $4.67.
Don't
And
even argue. I don't even like at this point now. I don't even argue. I say, you got the baby seat? Nope.
Mm.
Know what I do? I don't want to sit in front of them and wait them 5 minutes. They make you wait the 5 minutes before you can get the
yeah,
kids.
And Lyft, and that sucks. I hate that about Lyft, is that
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah.
They make you wait there, what, for another one to come?
no
is that
for
what
5
it-
minutes. So here's how it works.
Wow.
If you just put no car seat, you're not going to get the cancellation fee until after it times out. You got to call them, and then they're going to pretend like they can't see the trip until like 2 days. They're going to tell you to call back 2
Yeah.
days later. And all you're getting is $3 from the $5. Let's be real, because Uber's going to take their cut anyway. So
Yeah.
we're getting $3 from a cancellation. So it's not even that much we're getting to cancel if you guys are late or no car seat, whatever like that. But it adds up. So
Mhm.
what I do is I drive around the corner. I don't want to wait right in front of them so they can just keep. Yeah. My last driver did this. My last driver took me with the baby.
Oh,
blah, blah,
yeah.
blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we get that all the time.
yeah, we get that.
Yeah, yeah. The law is the Jersey law is actually the Jersey law is really strict.
That's
7
good.
years old, up to 7, they
Yeah.
need a car seat.
Wow.
They need a booster.
Yeah.
What? At
Yeah.
7?
Yeah,
Yeah, up to 7 years old, or
They're already in kindergarten. What? They a booster seat. They
Yeah.
can't even fit in the boost. Like, come on, that would look ridiculous.
Yeah.
A big ass 7-year-old in a booster seat.
well, I think
I've
it's
seen
4
that.
foot,
I've seen big
4
ones.
foot, or 4 foot, or something, or 7 years old. Those are the laws.
Like
Okay.
they already have a
Okay.
job by then.
Yeah, right. I don't.
There was a
I'm not that-
9-year-old. I picked up a 9-year-old, and it still had a car seat. I was like,
Wow, yeah.
really, 9 years old?
I'm like this. I'm like this. If you can reach, if the mirror, like a ride on the roller coaster, you can reach my mirror, you're good. But if you have a baby, like somebody got to carry, you know, come on now, like if you had your own car, you carry it. But the problem thing about it is, it's all on the driver. That's the thing. If we get in an accident, it's on us. We get pulled over.
Yeah, and I think that's what people when it comes to suing, they think they want to sue Uber because something happened with us, just like the fight. We're independent contractors. You sue us, you don't sue Uber.
Yeah.
You know, they have to learn the difference in that.
Yeah, that's another
Mm.
thing to everybody listening. Yeah, we don't work for Uber.
We're not employees.
How many people come to me and say, "Well, give me my money back then if you're not." Well, it's going to charge me, so give me my money back. Did you give me any money? Did you give me any money? So how can I give you any money back? No, but Uber's going to charge. Then you send a letter to Uber. Then they took your money.
Hmm.
Mhm.
You know, if you're late for the ride or whatever, you don't have a car seat. That's your problem. Email Uber. You didn't give me any money. You got 5 people and only said 4. Only said 3. That's too bad. You got to email Uber. Your fault. What do you got? So, what are you guys on minors without car seats?
Oh, you mean like
Minors who don't need car seats. I mean, so that means middle
You
As
school.
long as they're in a seatbelt, they're fine.
Okay.
But an adult has to be. I would rather, they most of the time they'll put the kids. If I have a woman and 2 children, she'll put herself in the middle and put the kids, on each side in the car
What
seat.
about without the adult? That's what I meant. Without the adult.
Oh, no. That definitely I would run away. I
Yeah,
had
that's a liability.
I had
Well,
yeah.
Here's the law. So the law in New Jersey is you can ride anybody. There's no law against riding a minor. It's not like tobacco or something like that. Uber says that if you don't feel comfortable or you feel this person's too young, you can ask them, and But here's the other problem: you're not required to ID anyone, and the person who orders the trip is supposed to be 18 years or older,
Yeah.
and they're not really supposed to bring another person in your car. But again, they do that all the time. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I can't tell a fucking high school 16-year-old from an 18-year-old person.
But right, but but I have instances where a parent, if their 13 and 14-year-olds are at the movies, they've called an Uber and they'll send you a message, and always send a message, especially when you're not, like I said, again, when we're not picking you up. They'll say, hey, you're picking up my 13-year-olds. They're coming out of the movie theater. And I'm a mama. And if I'm talking to a mom, I'm like, I got you. We're going to get them home safe. No problem. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with that as long as it's a parent saying if they're younger than 16, and I need a ride, you're picking my kids up. But if it's a 16 or 17-year-old, I have no issue with that. My job is just to drive you where you're supposed to go.
See, now here's the thing with Uber. So you're not really supposed to transport minors. So this one kid was like, hey, I'm 15 years old. Can you think like, no, because you told me you're 15 and I can't do it knowing that you're 15. See,
and you like, honestly, like Taj, come on. A kid, he's a kid. He needs to go home.
No, but here's the problem. I know through the text he's 15. So I'm going against Uber's policy at this point. See, that's the thing. You're not required to ID anyone, but you're also not. That's a double-edged sword. You're not supposed to pick up a minor, but you're not, but you don't know them because there's no ID requirement. But if you tell me you're 15, then I know it. Like, so if we get in an accident, Uber's like, why you pick up a kid who's 15? They got me because.
You're right. It's like, don't ask, don't tell. Once they say it's like out there.
I told the kid, like, I got to cancel on you. Next driver, don't say shit. Just get in this car. Don't tell me you're 15. I told him that. I can't pick you up. Next driver.
You got those drivers where you do that and it keeps pinging them back to you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So technically, if he had pinged you again and not said he was 15, you would have had to go pick him up.
Oh, no, I would have known it was him. It was in somewhere. I would have known it was him. I was in like South on the shore or something like that, and it was like no calls, coming in that area, so I would have known. Plus, I remember ratings. Let's talk about ratings. Gina, do you know your rating as an Uber passenger?
I don't know it right now. I looked it up once because my friend was like, "Oh, I'm so mad. My rating went from like 3.9 something to 3.8." I'm like,
"That's horrible." That's already
that is bad.
Terrible
for a rider. I've had some with one. I had some with one.
What?
One?
How do you look it up?
They had a 1, but before I was a driver, it goes so fast. Who has time to look at the fucking rating? So before I knew, and the driver got in, he says, "Did you see my rating?" And I'm like, "No, I just accepted the ride." He was like, "I'm surprised because nobody ever accepts me because I have like a 1." And I'm like, "What did you do?" He was like, "I'm an asshole when I'm drunk."
Oh.
He was the sweetest person on my ride, but from that point on, I did start to look at a person. I looked at those stars when they came through from that point forward.
All right, 4.86. That's mine.
Good.
You're slacking.
Close to 5. Yeah. 4 point.
It's because of my stupid friends. That's
you
why.
Kiss those drivers a little bit more. It's like please.
It's like a school grade. You want to be close to 5 stars. So anything 4.7, like a C, D. Anything below 4.6 is like you're towards 3. You're towards like 3 stars.
But you know how I learned about my star? I had a guy to get in, and they go through, "Oh, I see you're from, North Carolina." And he was like, "Who the fuck gave you a low star?" Because it was like a 4.98. And I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like somebody wasn't answering. Somebody messed up my 5. I'm a 5-star driver. So somebody was pissed off and gave me like a 2 or something.
What?
Yeah, I got a 5 on
I don't follow Lyft's rating system at all.
Lyft.
The difference between Uber makes you like rate people like on the ride. Like after we can't do that until our next ride till we rate you. Lyft, you gotta do extra shit to rate them. So if you got any rating on Lyft, that means the driver said, "Fuck that, you giving the bet." Like I gotta do more shit. Uber, I have to give you it. And most of the time it's 5.
Right.
Most of it is 5.
I wonder why though. I'm a good passenger, but I've fallen asleep a couple times. Maybe that's why.
No.
There was
I'm never like obnoxious.
Some people just probably they have this thing that they never give 5s. To me, I'm always going to give you a 5 unless you're just a complete ass.
Yeah.
And I have to give you like a 2.
You slam the doors. You don't slam the door. Like,
you slam the door. You're getting like a 1. Okay.
No, never. I'm so polite.
I go 3 on slamming doors, but 1.
And if they talk to me, I have a friendly combo, but only if they initiate it because I don't want to bother them.
Yeah.
That's important. That is important. But that's important because you have to, for me, I listen to my customer. If they get in and they want to talk, then I know this is going to be a talkative ride. If they get in and they're on their phone or they're, I know they want you to shut up and let them do what they're going to do.
Yeah, I give them 5 questions to gauge what they are right there. If you don't answer those 5 questions with 3 words or more, then I know I ain't talking with you because like you probably get in your own world right now that you just want to be quiet and comfortable and stuff like that. So that's where I stand with the.
How are you with music or sound? Do you like?
I go straight up classic.
That's cool. You just put him on Mozart.
I'll put it as a Mozart right there.
I'm old school 80s, 90s.
There you go.
Yes.
Vina, yes. Mine's R&B music. I got an iPod, mostly R&B, rap with no cursing. Make sure it's the clean versions of the songs, and I just played it at random. And you know what's funny? I'm mostly listening to a podcast on my earphone while I'm driving. Like I'll have YouTube.
Really?
Yes, I usually have YouTube on the small screen because nobody's really talking. Plus, we got masks on our face, so it's kind of weird just having conversations.
Well, yeah.
So most of the time, I'm listening to podcasts while I'm doing Uber.
You got that Bill Burr thing going on your ear.
Yes.
What the fuck is going on? It's Boston. God damn it! I'm a Mandalorian.
I got my R&B music playing in the background, and a lot of people have complimented on my music.
Usually I like Uber drivers' music, but every once in a while you get a driver who listens to something very specific and loud, and and you go with it. I'm like, all right, he doesn't care. He's going with it, so I'm going with it too.
Or some shit.
I mean, most music I like, but then every once in a while it'll be something like, it's like not in English, so I don't know it. But hey, if they're rocking out to it, I'll rock out to it.
On 2019, I did a no Beyonce, no Taylor Swift, no music for this ride because they had the 2 ones at the Will Fargo, and I picked up all these girls, these girls with these women who soccer moms who want to still be like teenagers with their girls, and they're karaokeing, and they say, "Can you please turn it up, Taylor Swift, please?" And I just hearing these women just sing right in my amplified, like 5 people. I was.
Have you ever been a mom that ain't been out in a couple months?
No, I haven't.
That's what we become when you're finally able to go out with your girls. The last thing you want to do is be a mom. So you got to help us out on that.
I want to put a ring on it though. I don't want to hear people, the women, the soccer moms say, "I want to put a ring on it, please, no more." Come on.
Listen, I bet you be in Ubers where the driver's playing all sex music, so it's like you get in.
Okay.
Wait, Jodeci? Oh shit!
Oh no!
You ever had a rider come in and they want to like put their auxiliary cord in on your shit?
Yeah.
Yes.
They want to put on what?
They either want to set up Bluetooth on your computer, on your phone, or auxiliary cord. Yeah. You know what I tell them? I was like,
I get like tips from that. Yeah, just giving the aux cord.
Me too. I mean, Ray, yes, tips. They do. They appreciate stuff like that.
Shit. You don't mess with a black man radio.
I've had a college student get in my car on a club night on the way to the club and turn my music, but they were like cranking. They was like, "This is the best fucking Uber ever." So you kind of let them. You go with it and you let them have fun. You know, they weren't hurting anyone.
You know why I like playing softer music, even like dudes in there. It calms.
Oh my god!
Calms them down. I don't give a fuck if it's Minnie Riperton. No, you don't want them riled up in your car like that. I don't know.
Oh my God, Taj, you're like you're the boring Uber driver.
No.
He's throwing everybody out. He's just getting everybody.
No, it's not. No, it's like a mixture. It's like rap and R&B and all that shit on there. But I don't like take over my radio. Like I have an app. I have an app for that. It's called GetYourOwnDamnCar.com.
Oh my God. Taj is rough. He's rough.
Yeah.
My
Oh,
friends left every winter. I have a big party. And Taj was there last year, and my friends left the party. They left with these little egg rolls, and they were waiting for the Uber. And they go, "You know," my friend said, "You won't believe what happened. We got in the Uber, and the Uber driver said, 'You don't happen to like karaoke, do you?' And they said, 'Yeah.' And screens dropped down and like a
oh
little
my.
disco ball, and he
No,
handed the
wow.
microphones, and they had microphones, and they did karaoke the whole way home. I'm like, what?
Oh,
This is,
I
I
don't
can't
like
believe
those.
it.
You
There
know
was
why I don't like those drivers? Because then the next ride you're in, like, the Rex driver had to have coke karaoke. Got a
you
freaking
gotta up your game, Taj. You
yeah
gotta up your
sign
game.
on your door
Exactly.
and all that. That's all you like, dude. Come on, like I
oh,
had one kid in the group when the group we're in, Ray. He had a freaking PlayStation set up there back there for the past. Like, all right,
Oh my God, his tips were insane.
yeah,
yeah.
Not in Taj's
yeah,
car. Not in
no,
Taj's
no.
Not
car.
in
He's like,
time.
get your own
I'm,
car.
I can't afford driving through East Orange.
Theirowncard.com.
Yeah, East Orange and Newark with a damn PlayStation in my back seat. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
All
oh
over
my God.
breaking my shit. Yeah, my PlayStation staying right here at home with me where it's supposed to be.
Oh, oh my God.
All right, 9:21 guys.
No.
Let's let's go around. So Ray,
Yeah.
any tips for like new Uber drivers that are just signing in or somebody just getting on the app? Anything you want to tell them, let them know?
Go to Lakewood. Go to
That was
Lakewood.
the running joke in that group. Everybody makes
Can't
fun of Lakewood.
you want rides? Go to Lakewood. See how
All right,
that feels.
Gina doesn't know about Lakewood. Lakewood, half what's it called? Hasidic Jewish.
Like
It's a,
Yeah,
Hasidic.
it has Hasidic
yeah.
Jewish, and a lot of is it racist when you see white trash, Gina? Is that cool? I don't want to.
No, it's
That's
not white
not,
trash.
Not white
I
trash.
Just
don't care.
it's
What is up
they're
with Why does everybody make fun of it then?
because they're so cheap and they will run you to the ground and they can't drive. They can't drive. I have a video. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a public announcement to all Uber drivers and Lyft drivers that if you go to Lakewood, it's the T-bone collision world in the world.
Oh,
There's a lot of people that get T-boned because they can't drive. There's called a Lakewood stop. They put half the car in the lane just to make a left turn on a yeah. So you don't want to go to Lakewood
that's why Lakewood's always a
without full
yeah,
coverage.
everybody makes fun of Lakewood. All right, so your
Oh,
your
you
tip
got to
for
work it. You got to work it to know it, man. Once you work it, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, rates.
I just thought it was just white people acting crazy out
No, they're cheap. I hate I say this with seriousness. They're cheap. There are people going to be trying to put like 10 people in a 4 vehicle car,
there.
and
Are you?
Wow.
yeah, and then they're going to they're going to ask you to go to different stops without putting any stops in it. Plus the drivers and the roads are terrible.
Real
So
quick, has
that
anybody ever did drunk runs? Anybody drug runs? Anybody?
I have, and I don't know why. I don't know why they act like you can't smell weed. If you got in my car with no stench whatsoever, and you tell me to park, and you can always tell it's a drug run because you never actually go to the location. They be like, you can stop right here, and then they disappear behind some buildings or behind some bushes, and you just sit there for like 4 minutes, and then they come back out of nowhere and they smell like weed.
Oh, I get,
You know,
I
and
get
I
people
was
smell
like,
like weed all the time. Yeah. No, I'm talking about. I had a woman I picked up in Newark, went around the corner, come back, and she says this shit out loud, like, "Oh man, I had to get my drugs. I had to get my stuff." I'm like, "Why are you
yeah, I
telling
mean,
me this?"
but okay, so
Yeah.
what's the difference in that? Now here in Pittsburgh, they have the heroin clinics where Uber is paid by the state. Well, I make those runs all the time, and I know when I get there that they're going to get to get their drugs. And for me, if that's what you're going to do, I have no issue with it. Just don't tell me about it.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Don't tell me.
The
I
methadone.
want to know.
But the thing is, but the only people that I will put out of my car are people that get back in my car smelling like weed because it stays in your car.
Yeah.
So the next person, and
Yeah.
I've had a rider call Uber and said she smelled like weed, and I'm like, no, that was the driver. I mean, that was the rider before them, because you have to sit there and ride around with your windows down and try to air your car out or have some bomb ass air freshener
Yeah.
to get that out of your car. it's too much of a risk because if I get pulled over by a cop, automatic search.
Yeah. Yeah. I live in Camden, so it's a normal thing about these friends and stuff. So
Wow.
I had picked up like a few times. I picked up some young guys in Newark, 5 different stops and all these shady places. And I'm like, oh god, I'm just picking up drugs everywhere. That's what we're doing right now. Like, yeah. Vina, tips for upcoming Uber drivers or passengers?
I would say be dedicated to your craft. Stick to your principles. Always keep it professional because getting personal with drivers, whether you're a woman or man, has its pitfalls. Trust me, I know. And remain courteous to people. Sometimes you have to be a therapist to people. And I think for a lot of Uber drivers, you become a therapist. And sometimes you just have to let people cry. And I had that a lot. They get in the car, they just cry. You're that outlet because they don't know you. And sometimes you have to realize that you may be that person that helps someone else. So don't always be like a Taj. Be hard. You know what I'm saying? Be a little soft sometimes. Like me and Ray. See, Ray has that. He has that. Taj is just a hard ass. But don't be a Taj. Don't. That's my
woman get her husband was drunk.
That's the mantra.
Home. We walked him to his home. I had him over my
Okay, we give you that one. We give you that one. You waited for Pissy.
No, not him. That was another guy. That was another guy. We literally had to Weekend and Bernie's him to his home because he couldn't even walk.
Okay. We'll give you 2 out of 4 years.
Any tips? Anything you want to tell us drivers we should do more, or you wish we would do more?
I don't know. I more feel bad for the drivers usually because I feel like you're dealing with all kinds of personalities and people are expecting all these things from you, even if they're not. I've been with people and the location was very vague where they are and they were getting frustrated and yelling at the driver, and the driver's just seeing what's showing up on their GPS, so like sometimes some of these locations don't show up on the GPS if it's in a newer area. So I think I more feel bad for drivers because I feel like, oh my God, they must be dealing with, who's taking an Uber? Like drunk people, there's certain kinds of people that you're probably seeing over and over. And a big one is probably drunk people. So I feel like that can't be good. If you're rational and you're not drunk and you have to deal with drunk people all day and they're coming into your personal space, really your car, it's so personal and you're so vulnerable, especially a woman like Vina, like you're in the front, and you're hoping for the best. You're trying to make the best of it. So I feel like more passengers should be made more aware of things like that. Because I think there's so many expectations. Like,
I don't see you.
Yeah.
Turn around. Across the street. Maybe I'm around the corner because there's nowhere to park here. Or maybe that's where look.
Yeah.
Stand up in your doorway expecting to pull up with a fucking rose bears and shit.
Oh,
come on.
Oh, can I leave one?
Yeah, go ahead, Ray.
We got one story. This kind of like made it so much great for me being an Uber driver. It was like the first year I was working for Uber and I was working Camden. And at that time, Camden was like really rough at that time in 2014. And there was not many drivers working Camden. I was probably the only driver working overnight in Camden. So I'm glutton for punishment, right? But I got a ping, and it was all the way at Marlton, and Marlton is just like center of New Jersey. So I got a ping, and it was a lady, and as soon as I accepted the ping, the lady calls me, and she says, "Look, I know you're in Camden, and I know I don't know anything about Uber, but my daughter is somewhere in Camden, and can you please look for her?" And I was like, I don't know how. I was like, it's like, I'll, like if you give me your telephone number, I'll give you a screenshot of what she looks like. So I gave her my personal number, which is not a good thing, but she gave me a picture of her. And I lived in Camden for a year prior to that. So I kind of know the community and I know all the people, the sets. the dealers and everything. So she like begged me to go find this girl, and it took me, and she made me start the trip, and it lasted for about an hour, and until I found her. I found the daughter, and she was in an abandoned building. She was strung out, and I told her, it's like, hey, listen, my name is Ray. Your mom called, and you want me to pick you up, and wants me to take you home. And she was just like strung out that I had to carry her into the car. I called her mom, and I told her I found her. And I was like, okay, I'm heading home. I got your daughter. She doesn't look that well. Do you want me to take her to the hospital or anything? And it's like, well, no, take her home. I says, okay. So I drove her all the way to Malton from Camden. And as soon as I arrived, I see her mom and her dad. Her dad is like a big bully man, and I could see him crying. He was like so upset. And I told the father, say, hey, your daughter's in the back seat. He's not looking well. So it's like, okay. So, and as soon as I opened the door, her father scoops up her daughter, and her daughter's like holding him like a baby and everything. And I was like starting to cry. And I was like, and her mom's like came over and gave me a hug, and it's like, and he was going to give me $100 for that. I was like, no, just your trip is okay with me, but he says, take my money. And it's like, I'm not taking it, and her father was just carrying her, and he starts sobbing, sobbing and everything. And I said, do you need to go to the hospital or anything like that? And they said it's okay. But later on, I found out that she was kind of ODing, and they brought her to Camden, the Cooper Hospital, and they revived her, and she was doing well. She's doing well now, and she's in the clinic, the methadone clinic, for about 4 years now. Occasionally, I come down to drop off people at the methadone clinic at Camden, and I still see her, and she would always wave at me each time. But I remember that time, she was just
he took us out, like, Ray, like,
I
how?
want to know is
Ray's stories are insane.
called you to look for a person in all of Camden? Like,
yeah,
I know, and found her in a building. Like he went in the building.
Wow.
I mean, the
Wow,
dealers
Ray.
pointed me where they went, where he gone, and everything, and she was just huddled up in the cold, and there was a
Wow.
couple of junk.
how
there
did
was
you
a couple
find her? Did you like? I know Camden's not a huge city, but how did you find a single person?
I know a lot of dealers there in the community. Yeah, and
Wow.
the dealers, they're I can't say what they're doing. They gotta live. I understand, and that's why they still call me Uncle Ray. That's
calling, man. You need to be a.
So the dealers, they don't want to see their clients getting OD, so they will help me try to find this woman. So
you should work for Cold Case or something.
Well, let me tell you something. I have a degree in criminal justice, so and let me tell you, give me a whole hour, I'll tell you everything about me. So
Ray, send me a friend request, because it's like
I can't add him as a friend. I tried. He
you can't be a friend. I was like, but
it's like not you, Taj.
I'll open the thing. I'll check it. Yeah, send me a request.
There's a woman I fell for years ago, and I can't find her again.
Really? Oh. I'll send you a friend request.
You might have a detective, some private detective working.
Hey, I told my doctor if he wasn't going to sign me off, I was going to live in his mansion and call me Magnum. So I wanted to drive his Ferraris and stuff. Oh, and I'm also a helicopter pilot, by the way. So.
Oh my gosh, Ray, you're like.
Of course you are.
No.
Jack of all trades. Like, what else?
007 Uber driver.
Yeah, he's like, I was just scuba diving earlier today. I found some jewels.
You gotta invite him to your party, man. You gotta invite him to this party.
No, I still have a lot lot of love, a lot of life to live. So, but
Awesome.
yeah, we call that. I'm there, so I try to help out as much as I can. So
Oh my gosh. We have to do I do it I did when I was heavy in the Uber, I did Uber Chronicles. I would always tell stories
yeah,
of some of my rides, change the names up a little bit. And I want to write a book about those. And I'm looking at Ray and I'm like, I gotta go to Ray for some stories because
yeah,
like
yeah,
his stories are amazing.
We
Heartfelt
definitely
stories.
got to do this again, guys.
yeah. We got
Most
to do.
definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
but
you, everybody. Thank you, Ray.
Thanks for
thank
letting
you.
me sit in on your Uber world.
Yeah, you gotta come into our world, to the underground,
Let
Gina.
Gina brag. Gina, tell them who's your famous uncle.
Uh-oh.
Oh, cousin. He's a cousin. Joe
Yeah,
DiMaggio. I thought you were going a
I knew
different
it.
direction there.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it
I
wasn't.
knew it.
Yeah, it wasn't a coincidence. Yeah, they're related. Joe DiMaggio.
No,
It didn't do
DiMaggio.
anything for me. I'm just a public
Gina,
school teacher. So, yeah,
Gina, tell us what you know about baseball.
Oh,
nothing.
oh
Nothing.
no.
Nothing.
I know there's
Oh,
touchdowns. That's
no,
it.
I'm with you. I'm with her. That's it.
no. Your
He says
royalty.
no touchdowns in baseball.
Your royalty, Gina. Your royalty. Oh, you gotta
I
learn.
got the nose. I got the nose.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yank royalty knows nothing about baseball.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, that was fun, guys. I had a good time.
yeah. You gotta come to our world, Gina. Come drive for
Come
us.
to the dark side.
Of Uber, yes.
Already
Okay, guys. It was good seeing and meeting all of you.
Yeah.
So
I'll send you a friend
Yes.
request
All
if
right,
you guys
guys.
can't get me a friend
Thank you,
request.
Gina. Thank you, Ray. Thank you,
Thanks.
Vina.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Tom.
Taj, for having me.
thank
Great. No
you.
problem. This has been a
Bye.
great.
Nice meeting you, Vina and Ray.
Thank
You
you.
as well.
Thank you, Vina. Thank you, Taj.
All right, guys. This is
All
right.
JLat. Thank you guys for yapping with me. We'll see you next time. Be safe in your Uber and be safe to each other. And keep this COVID shit out of you. All
And
right.
wear your mask.
Yeah,
Wear your
wear
mask.
your mask.
For your undies. For
Wash
your
your
undies.
hands. Wash your ass. Wash your ass.
All right,
Make sure
bye.
your panties are clean when you wear them.
Oh no. Take care.
All right.
Peace, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.